If you've been diagnosed with a lichen condition and told it's autoimmune, chronic, or something you'll just have to manage long term, I want you to pause for a moment. What if the skin and mucosal tissues aren't actually the problem? What if what you're seeing in these areas is a signal, not a disease in isolation, but a reaction happening deeper in the body? And in this video, I want to help you look at lichen conditions through a different lens, one that actually explains why symptoms happen and why so many people don't get lasting relief. Lichen conditions are often described as chronic, inflammatory skin or mucosal conditions. They can show up as itching, burning, thickened skin, discoloration, pain, or irritation. And while they can look different from person to person, they actually have a lot in common when it comes to ongoing inflammation. And in conventional medicine, these conditions are often labeled as autoimmune, idiopathic, meaning an unknown cause, or something to be managed with topical or systemic medications. But here's the key question that often gets skipped. Why is the immune system reacting this way in the first place? The skin is not separate from the immune system. In fact, it's one of the largest immune organs in the body. So when the skin is inflamed, itching, or overreactive, it's rarely happening in isolation. What we're often seeing is an immune response expressing itself outwardly, and treating only the skin is a bit like silencing a smoke alarm without checking where the fire is coming from in the first place. It may quiet things temporarily, but it doesn't explain why the alarm keeps going off. This is where the immune system, and specifically a type of immune cell, becomes really important to understand. There are cells in the body whose job is to react quickly to perceived threats. They help protect us from injury, toxins, and infections. But when these cells become overly sensitive or chronically activated, they can start reacting to things that aren't actually dangerous. And when that happens, inflammation becomes ongoing instead of protective. And one of the key players in this process is the mast cell. And we'll go much deeper into this in the next video. But for now, what's important to understand is that mast cells live in the skin, connective tissue, the mucosal tissue, and near nerves. Which means when they're overreactive, the skin and mucosal areas often feel it first. And many people with lichen conditions notice these patterns, where symptoms flare with stress, or heat or friction makes things worse. Certain foods trigger itching or burning. Hormonal shifts cause flares. These aren't random. They're clues that the immune system is reacting, not malfunctioning, but responding to something it perceives as a threat. So if we don't ask, what's driving this response, we end up managing flares instead of resolving them. So instead of asking, how do I suppress this condition? A more helpful question becomes, what is activating my immune system and keeping it stuck in a reactive state? This shift changes everything, because when we understand why, we can start supporting the body and calming the response, not just covering up the symptoms. And in the next video, I'm going to explain what mast cells actually are, how histamine is involved, and why lichen conditions are often driven by mast cell activation. If you've ever felt like your symptoms don't make sense or haven't been fully explained, you're not alone, and this series is for you. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel so you know when I post a video, because this is where the pieces really start to come together.